Hey everyone, you've got Arleos the blacksmith here, and today we are going to be making a farming guide. So this is how you're going to be able to get a little bit of gold and kind of make the best use of your time while flying around if you'd like to farm a little bit of gold. So the first thing that I would recommend, if you haven't done it already, is to go and get all of your dragon flying maxed out, or dragon riding. So I used handy notes. Pick up handy notes. It gives you the location of all of the dragon riding things. Once you've got your 6 vigor, it makes it a heck of a lot easier to start farming. And it passes to all your alts. So if you do it on your main, any of your alts will automatically start with their dragon and all of the vigor. Next, the best professions that I'm going to say for this purpose of this video is going to be mining and herbalism. So the reason for this, for mining and herbalism, the routes that you take for mining farming, we have a lot of herbs in the same place. You don't have to worry about killing things for skinning. Yeah, it's just kind of the quickest way, especially once you unlock some talents where you can do it while mounted. It's the quickest way to kind of make some money farming right now. So, assuming you've filled up your dragon riding, you've got an alt that's got mining and herbalism available. A few things that I want to look at first are what talents that you want to go for. So I've obviously been mining. This character was leveled just off of mining and herbalism, so I've got a few points here. But the first thing that we want to do is in mining process. Yeah, so when you get mining process maxed out, that will allow you to stay mounted while you're gathering your ore. So I would say the first thing you want to unlock is mining processing. Some other videos may have you looking at unlocking mastering the elements first, but they've actually changed the overload elemental deposits so that you don't need to unlock that anymore. Everybody gets it. So you want to put all of your points in making sure that you can mine while mounted. So make sure in mining process, the first one mining process, put your first 35 points in here. That's going to allow you to stay mounted while mining. This is going to increase or decrease the amount of time that it takes to mine something and increase your efficiency overall. So same one for herbalism. We're going to look under botany. It's called botany. And you're going to put your first 40 points here. This is going to allow you to collect herbs and not get dismounted. So very important to put your first points into where you're not going to have to dismount to collect. Next thing, you're ready to head out into the wild to start your mine. First thing I would recommend having some sturdy expedition shovels. So you've likely already unlocked the ability to mine dirt piles. I like picking these up while I'm farming as well. There's a lot of good stuff in them. It unlocks things like rep, which you can use to buy a lot of cool things, patterns, stuff like that. It also drops your primal chaoses, which you can use to craft gear. So if you're doing anything with this alt other than just flying around, I'd recommend still picking up the dirt piles. You can get your essences and stuff from them, so super handy to pick them up. Next, you're looking at a file. So this is something that's bind on pickup if you're not an alchemist, which obviously you're not for the purpose of this. You're going to put in a work order for it because they are soulbound. But I use the steaming file of finesse. So it's something that's going to give me 40 finesse for 30 minutes. So finesse, if you are familiar with it, let's just pick anything here. Finesse is going to increase how much of your primary reagent you get. So your base ore, your base flour, it's going to give you more of it. And then the last one are primal razor stones. So this is something that blacksmiths can make. The rank 2 of these are super cheap on the auction house right now, way cheaper than actually making them. And this is going to give you another 20 finesse for 2 hours. So we will start a timer. I've cleared out my bag, so I've mailed all of my minerals and herbs away. So we're going to start a 30-minute timer and see how much we can actually farm in 30 minutes. So I will speed this up and maybe give a little more pointers as I'm going, but it's mostly going to be sped up from here. So let's apply our stone. So you right-click on the stone, put it on your mining pick. Same thing with your herbalism sickle. And then you drink the file. There we go. So there's our 30-minute timer. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start in just outside of the Waking Shores. I like doing either the Waking Shores or the Plains. Kind of my 2 routes, so I'll give some more details on the routes here. But I mostly like to circle around the mountains and come back, staying away as much as possible from any big mobs. So some guides will tell you to stick with just the elemental infused... Jeez, I'm getting blown away here. Just the elemental infused nodes. I don't recommend that. The main reason for that is if you get in a good circle, good mining rotation, If you leave a non, so if you leave a Ceravite ore up, or you leave just your regular herbs, they're not going to have a chance to respawn as something better. So if we mine them, even if they're not exactly what we're wanting, they're going to have a chance to respawn into something better in our route. So if I mine this Draconium this time, it might be a Titan touched one next time. I'm actually be lucky with the Casgrite out of those right now. So, another thing, they've made a change to the Vigor. So now every time you mine an herb, if you've got your Dragon Riding maxed out, you get the Dragon Rider's Cultivation, which gives you back like just over 1 bar of your Vigor. So you want to stay landed for like 2 seconds. It's not as much of a disadvantage for landing as it used to be with mining. Ooh, flying so fast I can't even stop. Let's see, look at all that Cascarite. You can also move your minimap if it's more handy to, have it right in your vision in the middle of your screen. You can change where your minimap is. Up on top of the pillars really mess with me. All right, so here we've come with a Titan touched herb. So we're actually going to want to use our Overload Elemental Herb on these ones. It's going to give us a big bonus of Rousing Order, which right now the Order is the most valuable of the Awakened Essences. Alright, well that marks our 30 minutes. So let's go back to town and see what we got. So depending on the time of day and how busy it is, how many people are doing the same route, it can really impact what you're getting. And also luck for how many of the elemental nodes actually spawn. Alright, so let's change everything over here. Normally things are worth a little bit more in the awakened form. Okay.
Our flight has much to offer.
So let's take a look and see what we actually have here. So it's approximately 620 gold worth of rank 2, 267. Alrighty, so with that we're looking at half an hour, just over 11, just under 12,000 gold. Which is a little bit less than I would have thought for half an hour, but I mean, it really, again, depends on how lucky we are. A lot of the luck comes from the Awakened Orders. Now, next thing that you're going to need to look at is the time that you're actually selling them. So I guess I'll kind of segue this into a part 2, is turning your materials into money. Now, reset days are normally your best days to sell. So Tuesdays, everybody is, buying their new materials, getting their vault, needing enchants, getting upgrades from their sparks. So that's normally the day that has the highest material prices. So if it's not something that you've been following and you're unsure, when you put an item up to sell, take a look at the price. So if you notice that, the median of the prices that you're seeing, there's thousands of them for, 3 to 4 gold here. That's probably not a terrible price. If you put it up and you see that it's something like 1 gold or 1 silver, that's people trying to bait the prices down for you to accidentally list your items for less than they should be. So be really careful of the unit price that you're seeing, because sometimes people mess with the markets and you might end up getting a really low price for your items. One thing that you're also going to want to do is to kind of feather them in, depending on how much you get. I wouldn't recommend, farming for half an hour. Oh, there. See, somebody's putting up 1 gold orders. They're trying to bait the prices down, so if you list your price right now without even looking, it's really going to impact, instead of getting, 600 gold, you're going to end up with like 200 gold. So be really careful with that when you're posting them. But I'd recommend, farming for a few hours before you start selling it, unless you're in a hurry, because again, the prices can change a lot. Let's take a look at the awakened orders right now. So 477. I think normally on reset lately these have been kind of going back up to like the 500 to 600 gold range. So they're a little bit lower than what I'd like to see right now, but you can see there's a lot of them listed. So I might wait until an actual reset to sell them. But you're going to want to put them in a few at a time. Oh, see, there's somebody trying to get it down to 1 gold again. And people will just pile them in without really thinking. So instead of putting the whole 150 up, I'll put something like 40 at a time. I want to keep the duration as low as possible. Because all the servers are merged for these reagents, it's everybody everywhere is looking at these. And what this does, this lowers the amount of deposit, which really shouldn't matter because they're going to sell anyway. But just in case there's a few of them that don't sell, you want to keep your cost as low as possible. So keep it on the lower setting. I will create that auction. Oh, and since I was talking there, people already dropped it another few silver. Let's try this again. So 40. And I don't want to sell them for 1 gold. They almost tricked me. There we go, 3 gold. So 40 of them. Somebody's trying really hard to bait the prices down right now. So what happens there, like if we look at this. So I can try to buy it. Yeah, it's no longer available. So they keep trying to snap it up really fast before everybody else as they post them. I'm trying to see if any get posted, but I can't refresh quick enough. Yeah, so they post them and buy them. But as you can see, it's a really popular posting time right now, not super popular buying time. So that's why I don't like to put all my orders up at once, because there's so many people that repost it so quickly that you're going to end up just falling behind. Like I'm already 2,000 ore deep with those orders, and I just barely put them in, a minute ago. So kind of feather them in if you're going to spend a few minutes on the auction house going through everything. Then I'd recommend just taking your time, putting up a little bit of each, going through each one of them, and then moving from there. Yeah, 23. So everything's fairly cheap right now. So that was half an hour, about 10,000 gold. So we're looking at, with these current adjusted prices, about 20,000 gold an hour. And I feel like this is kind of on the lower scale. Like I only got 1 rousing earth. Normally I end up, 1 awakened earth. Normally I end up with a lot more of these than awakened order. So we got pretty lucky with the orders today, not so lucky with the earths. Depending on what zone you farm to. So if we take a look at the Waking Shores, the path that we can take through here. I also enjoy farming in the plains. This is probably the place that I farm more often than not. I find there's less mobs that get in my way, and it's, I don't know, just more enjoyable scenery to look at. I feel like there's not as many super high cliffs that end up using my vigor. If there's something on top of a cliff in the Waking Shores, sometimes it gets annoying to get. So this one, things are a lot more 2D. You're not really flying up and down. You're not changing your altitude a huge amount to get the nodes. So I feel like it makes them a little bit quicker to get. But if you're following somebody or just behind them and the nodes end up disappearing, make sure you just change your route. Either start going back the other way or just wait 30 seconds and then start going again, because it's really annoying as you start landing on nodes as they disappear. So I do hope you guys found this one helpful. So again, I like using the extra items. So the Razor Stone, the File of Finesse. The File, depending on how much gold you have, that's not necessary, but the Razor Stones are so cheap, there's really no reason not to use them. What are we looking at right now? Yeah, 4 gold. So the 45 gold, that's a little bit more along the lines of what they cost to make, but this 4 gold is ridiculously cheap. So for an extra 20 finesse, there's really no reason not to get that on your tool. Alright, well, I hope you guys found this one helpful. I'll make a few more videos for different ways. This is kind of farming gold just through farming with mining and herbalism. And I may look into making some different guides that I use for using the auction house and using my profession specifically to make a little bit more gold. So I hope you guys found this one helpful, and we will catch you guys next time. Don't forget to check out some of my other videos and hit that like and subscribe button. Alright, take care.